Welcome to the Hacking HR podcast featuring successful European CEOs and managing directors. In each episode, we uncover how these visionaries turn their HR techniques into thriving businesses. In today's episode, we have Jasper Balkenhol, managing director of eBazaaris, a leading agency in e-commerce marketplace solutions in Europe since 2016. Hi, Jasper. Thank you for joining me today. Could you share more about eBazaaris? What are the core services and mission of your company?
Yes. So eBazaaris is an e-commerce accelerator, and we are specialized in online marketplaces. So we offer a 360-degree solution to brand manufacturers for marketplaces like eBay, Otto, Kaufland, or for example, Bo.com. And therefore, we help these manufacturers being successful on these marketplaces on the long run. So that's our target. And on the one hand, we offer like these classic services like creating content, advertising, or social commerce campaigns. But on the other side, we operate with our own seller as well. So we can even be a distributor or broker for our clients. So we really set the value for a long-time relation with our clients.
Okay, and can you share your journey with eBazaaris, with this company?
Yes. So I joined eBazaaris 2020. As an account manager, and since then I climbed a little bit the ladder, and now I'm managing director at eBazaaris since September 2022. Before working at eBazaaris, I was working in the mattress industry. I would say I was selling mattresses online and was growing with a startup there where I started as an intern and left after 4 years. Where we sold mattresses on all relevant European marketplaces. So I gained a lot of marketplace insights before eBazaaris, and now helping with these insights manufacturers being successful on these on multiple marketplaces. And yeah, that's what I've been doing for around about 7 years now. It's always something with Amazon. But the good thing about Amazon is never getting boring, and I'm sure it won't get in the future.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with that. And I'm more curious about your work style. What style do you have at eBazaaris? Are you agile company, or do you have any hierarchies? Or I think you are working remotely, right? Or is it a hybrid model?
Yes, so eBazaaris is remote first. We have an office in Berlin, and I'm currently sitting in the office in Berlin, and I'm kind of an office guy, I would say. I'm at the office for around 4 to 5 days a week because I really like the atmosphere here. It's like I like the energy, I like the dynamics with the other people here, but I definitely get the point if some people don't really like to come to the office. And not everyone in our team is Berlin-based, so it wouldn't work if everyone comes to the office. We have great colleagues, for example, in Frankfurt, Leipzig, Amsterdam, Bosnia, and even Tbilisi in Georgia. So we have a big variety of different cultures, and we have the access to a big talent pool over different countries. That really gives us an advantage to find the best person for the right position. So, but as you mentioned, hierarchies, I think as in every company, you need certain hierarchies. I truly believe it's not working any other way. It's not like, I don't believe that these classic hierarchies where the boss is telling everything will work out, but at the end of the day, someone has to take this decision, and someone has to take sometimes unpopular decisions. So that's why you need certain hierarchies. But at eBazaaris, we have really flat hierarchies, and everything is outcome orientated. So it doesn't matter which position you work in, the goal is what we work together to. So the goal is more important. And that's why we cooperate on an individual demand. So sometimes I work together with an intern in that field, sometimes work together with a director in another department. So it always depends on the goal we are working on.
Do you know every member of your team in person? To be honest with you, eBazaaris has one of the strongest teams at team.
So I think like in a remote first company, that's a really tough question. We at the moment about 60 employees at eBazaaris, and already started to plan new hires for next year. And so far, I know every single person, even though we work in a hybrid model and many colleagues don't live in Berlin. I visited Georgia a year ago, so I met all our team there, and we have multiple events in Germany where we invite all our colleagues from around Europe to join these events. So even the colleagues from like Amsterdam or Leipzig or Frankfurt or even from Bosnia, they're coming to these events, because I think it's really important to get the team together from time to time. So that's really, they have the exchange together. But what I find way more important, that is not that I met all these people, but the teams actually, they meet each other on a regular basis, because they're working together on a daily basis, probably, and they're not everyone's working together with me. So it's more important that they meet each other. And yeah, and I'm looking really forward to our Christmas party, which will be in around 3 weeks, where all teams come together and again, and all the remote people come to Berlin. And so we have a great evening again. And I'm really excited to meet everyone there this year. And yeah, let's see what next year is bringing.
The next thing is that can you share a hack for optimizing a remote work style?
Yeah. So I think in a hybrid work way, communication gets even more and more important. So you find a million books about communication is key, and especially when it comes to hybrid working ways. So you have to find different channels to reach all people. So that is really important, that everyone gets all the information. Sometimes you need to use Slack. For some, emails are more easier to consume. But you have to go multiple channels. And as a manager, you have to put more effort in this communication. It's not like you're at the office and you tell, you're just sitting there and tell everyone. You have to reach everyone when they're at different locations and using different forms of media. So that's really important. And to give you a concrete hack, I would say we introduced around a year ago, I would say, our famous Friday mail. So every week I'm collecting updates from all teams and share them with everyone kind of in a Friday morning newsletter. It's not everything work related. Sometimes, so there's a section, there's one section I give to a random employee every week, and they can just share something private. So this section is called Everything Except of Amazon. So we're doing something which is not work related. And the other departments can share positive news, negative news. It's full of gifts. It's more like a fun thing, but you get a lot of updates around the company. And I think a lot of colleagues are looking forward for every Friday morning to get the mail and get some new updates and see what's going on in the company. And I think this is a small hack. Everyone can just give it a try and see how it's going. But I can only recommend doing it.
Yeah, it sounds really good idea.
Maybe you can try the team up as well.
Yes, sure. I will tell my CEO about it. And my next question is like, what's your management style like, and how do you improve it on a daily basis?
Yeah. So when you go to university or read any books, there's so many management styles. But what I learned over the past is always just look at people and take what you like and just leave out what you dislike. And there you will find your perfect management style. And for me, if you would cut it down to 3 aspects in particular, it's for me trust, ownership, and willingness to develop. And I trust employee from day one, but expect in return that they take ownership in their field. And this actually gives them freedom, but it gives them responsibility as well. And actually it helps them grow with their challenges. And in addition to that, I'm always there to help them. If they have a question, I'm always happy to help. And if they like, oh, I can't make this deadline or something, we always find a way around. But first, they have to take ownership for that project. I give them this trust. I'm not a big fan of micromanagement. Micromanagement is, in my point of view, the last stage before it's over, because it hinders all the personal development and professional development. And I don't want to have this atmosphere here, so I'm giving everyone this freedom to actually do what they're good at and help them growing as well. So, but they have to bring the motivation as well. So if you're not motivated in developing yourself and be willing to learn out of your mistakes and looking for someone who always just tells you what to do, I'm probably not the right boss for you, because I give everyone freedom, but on the other side, I expect ownership. So yeah, but at the end of the day, to see my goal as well, or I'm doing a good job when I'm not needed anymore, because then everyone takes the right decision on their own. So that's kind of my target.
Great, and you might also be having a people management hack you would like to share with our audience.
Yes. Well, I would suggest everyone, especially when start to lead a team. So I had the same experience as well. At one point, you have an intern or something, or you start training a junior. It's really important to communicate clear expectation when giving a task, for example. But then in the first step, let the colleague develop an own solution. I'm not a fan of this micromanage, so I will tell them directly, you have to do it this, this, and this. Just give them the goal which they want to reach and try to let them figure out the way how they would do it, because then they can actually learn a lot by actually doing it by themselves, and not you giving them how to do it. And then just check with them in, give them feedback. If it's not the goal yet, then they have a second try, and then you just go in feedback loops. But the first step or the first draft should be done by your colleague, and this gives them the opportunity actually to develop their own solution. And I think this really helps them taking ownership, and if even seeing that they are valued, their opinion is valued, and they can actually bring their knowledge in this work. So that's what I would suggest for everyone who's starting leading a team.
Okay, thank you so much. My next questions will be about recruitment, the most interesting part of this podcast. And my question is that as a startup managing director, how do you hack HR to compete with larger businesses within your industry?
So yeah, for me, actually, a key is that every employee has an impact on the success of the company. That's definitely something which you probably don't have in a bigger corporate. Here, whatever you are writing, like a product text, or you're optimizing an ad, or you're even listing a product, it has an impact on our success, and everyone needs to know that. So you're not like a small wheel in a big factory. Here, your work always has an impact, and everything helps us to develop, or even just decreasing our performance. So you really have to think about what you're doing. And I try to give everyone this bigger picture and see how they value this company. And that's probably why if someone's looking for a monotone 9-to-5 job, eBazaaris is probably the wrong place. It's not like we're not like one of these big consulting groups where you work 80 hours, but you still shouldn't be just sitting here and wait till the day is over, because we expect kind of performance from you, but you can actually change something. So you can actually bring value, and you know that you have a good idea, you can change something here, and your work has an impact. And I think this is kind of one of the biggest differences compared to other jobs. And we have like a really high speed. We're extremely dynamic, and we implement projects in 4 months, where traditional companies probably would use 12 or even a month or even longer. So we have a dynamic atmosphere here, and you need to like that, but it helps you to develop yourself, and especially when you're at the beginning of your career, I think it's a really interesting place to be in.
What are HR trends that are currently on the rise in Germany, and are you following these trends, and what advice would you give to other companies to prepare for this future of work happening now?
Yeah, so I definitely see two major trends in the HR sector in Germany. First of all, it's the remote work is the new norm. So it's definitely for every company is essential on the long run to find a solution there. Just calling colleagues back to the office 5 days a week, it won't work anymore. You will lose the competition to other companies when it comes to like talented people if you don't offer a solution there. So you have to offer that, but on the other side, you have to think about the culture topic as well, because in this remote setting, I think culture is even harder than it used to be before, and you really have to find your way there to motivate people and to actually make this place like a little bit like home for everyone. And it's not like you're sitting at home 5 days a week, and next week you just change to another employer and you don't feel the difference. So you really need to attach the people to your company, and this is a lesson a lot of companies have to learn now and have to find their way. This is one HR trend I'm seeing, and the second one, it's definitely a perspective on work-life balance. You see a younger generation definitely sets other priorities in life and are looking for other aspects when looking for a job. It's not like I just want to earn a lot of money, I just want to have a lot of respect in the company. A lot of people are looking for like a good work-life balance. That is really important, and that they have a meaningful job. So you really have to show them how they impact with their work the bigger results. So That is a really important thing from my point of view, and that's why probably a lot of people don't like to go to these big corporates anymore, because they know that they don't really have an impact and they can't change anything. So that's why you have to give young people a chance to actually change something, but you have to keep in mind that work is not everything in life. And I think it's definitely a fair point. I think there's way more important stuff in life than just work, but work's an important part of life as well. So I think you have to you have to work together with this new generation and find a way to motivate them and find a way to integrate them into your company as well.
And what's your key to success when it comes to recruitment? And now you're talking about younger generation. Do you have any strategies, and what do you do, and how do you hack the recruitment process?
Yeah. So for me, is the most essential part is if it's a culture fit or not. It's like you can always train skills, but you can't train attitude. So if someone has no motivation or has like or disrespects you in some kind of way, he can be like really good at what he's doing, but if he's not fitting to the culture, it won't last very long, and it's probably better to give a pass on this person. So that is for me the most critical part. And our how we actually hack it, I would say, is our application process has three steps. The first step is a phone call with me, or mostly it's with me or one of my colleagues. And this phone call is only there to get to know the person and see if it's a fit or not. So the first step actually kicks you out when you're not a fit to the company. And in the second step, you get a case study where you can see if the skill set is fitting or not, or even if our task is actually what the applicant is looking for. And in the third step, we have like a video call, actually meet in person. And there we talk with the department where the person is working in and see if it's a fit there. So our whole recruitment process is looking for if it's like a culture fit or not. Of course, seeing if the skills are fitting as well. But I'm convinced that you can train skills, but you should always hire for attitude.
When we were talking about like currently rising trends in Germany, we mentioned company culture, and how do you support work-life balance for your employees? And do you think it has become more important in recent years compared to like past years after remote work?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a shift in generations where you see a big difference in the focus or in what people are seeking for in life. Me myself, I come from like working class family. I really know what hard work is, and I still remember that my grandfather always told me that work is not there to be fun. For me, it's a blessing to actually choose my job. I think my mom and my grandparents, they haven't had the chance to actually pick their profession. They had to take what the parents were doing. And I, as first generation, really have the chance to actually change something there and really look for what I'm good at and what I like to do. So we really see a shift here, and definitely a shift in the work-life balance approach as well. People are not happy to work like 80 hours a week anymore. People don't want to go to like these big consulting firms where you have to work like 70 hours, not home. It's a change there. Money can't buy you happiness, and people are valuing time more than money. And I think this is a trend which is really good, and you actually have to find a way to combine that with the economical situation as well. Because at the end of the day, it's not working without money. People want to have their standards, but they want to have it like in a good balance. So yeah, I think this is one of the main trends, especially for a younger generation.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any ways to support work-life balance for your employees at eBazaaris?
Yes. So yeah, for me, I try to support the work-life balance and always just enhancing that people should take the day off, that they shouldn't work too much over hours. If it's not 1% necessary, I'm not writing any Slack messages at the weekend or in the evening or when they're on vacation. So, and people should really need to take their free time and actually rest there as well. So that's really important, because if they're working full time, they get stressed out so easily. So it's not good for me and not good for the person, or not even good for the company. So that is what we try to do. We always tell them, oh, you need to do your lunch break. And we, for example, on a bigger scale, we increased the minimum days of vacation this year. So we increased them by 3 days. So everyone got 3 more days of vacation each year, which helps them to take days off and get their work-life balance a little bit more into place. And because at the end of the day, this is one thing always my last boss said, work is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So it's you have to look for the long run, and if you're just sprinting all the time, you won't make the marathon. So and as one of my hobbies is running marathons, I can tell you can't sprint a marathon. So you have to be consistent, and that is important with work-life balance as well.
Okay, and since your team is working in a hybrid model, how do you maintain and build a team spirit? And are there any events or gatherings you organize online or offline?
I think that is a big challenge a lot of remote companies or hybrid companies are facing. And we try to make events at the locations for everyone. For example, located in Berlin, we have meetings from time to time, and we have some events where we invite everyone and pay their hotel and pay their flight or train ticket here, so we get them all together. For example, like the Christmas party, everyone's getting here. And when we come together, we're not trying to do just this basic pizza and beer like every Wednesday or something. We are doing more than that. So we have this little game every time we come together. We do the eBazaaris Olympics. So I divide the whole team in smaller teams, and then I think about like 15 competitions where they have to fight for a prize. Usually, the winning team gets 1 more day of vacation. And you just have funny games. It looks like a little kid's birthday party where you do little games. And it's so much fun because people are so competitive and have this like crazy competitions. That's really fun, and this really creates moments together. And but in total, I would say our highlight for all colleagues is our Sunny Winter project. For the last 2 years, we had booked a house in a sunny location. This year it was Gran Canaria. We booked a house there for 4 weeks in March, where everyone got a room, and we invited the whole team. So everyone just had to pay the flight over. And if you like, you can join for 4 weeks. You can join for 2 days. So whatever you like. And so we had a big team there, a lot of people coming in and going and actually meeting each other, people from Georgia coming, from Amsterdam coming, from Berlin coming. So that was a really great time, bringing everyone together, and even not just working together all the time, but spending their leisure time as well. And we are already preparing our next project for 2024, currently looking for locations. We don't know exactly yet where it's going. First time we've been to Portugal, and last year to Spain. So let's see what we're doing 2024. But I would definitely say this is one of the highlights everyone's looking for, and it really brings the team together, and everyone's talking about this event for a whole year. So it's definitely worth joining in there, and you can do everything from, like, as I mentioned, 2 days, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. So as everyone likes, because everyone has a different background. Some people have kids, they can't stay for 4 weeks. And some people they just finished university, they can stay for like 4 months if they like. So yeah, we're trying to bring all the needs together and find somewhere everyone can work with.
Thank you so much. Actually, that was my last question. Thank you for listening to the Hacking HR podcast with our guest, Jasper, Managing Director of eBazaaris. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, like, and share the podcast, and stay tuned for more HR and business insights.